You're standing at the edge of a cliff. Below you, the world is chaos, people screaming, panicking, drowning in their own emotions. Above you, nothing but cold, clear air and a choice. Stay down there with them, or climb up here where the air is thin, where survival isn't about feeling, it's about thinking. Most people never make it up here. They can't, because when life hits them hard, they crumble, they cry, they rage, they let their hearts run the show while their mind sits in the back seat, blindfolded. And that's exactly when the world eats them alive. Niccolò Machiavelli watched it happen. Kings fell, empires crumbled, not from war, from weakness. They felt too much, thought too little. Emotion killed them before any sword could. So Machiavelli wrote the code. Stay cold, stay sharp. While they panic, you breathe. While they burn, you freeze. The coldest one always wins. This isn't about being heartless. It's about being unshakable. It's about walking through fire without flinching. It's about holding a sword in one hand and a smile on your face, because you know something they don't. Emotions are weapons, and if you don't control yours, someone else will use them to destroy you. Today, I'm going to show you 7 brutal truths Machiavelli understood that most people will never learn. These aren't cute little tips. These are survival strategies, the kind that separate those who lead from those who follow, those who win from those who lose, those who stay standing when everyone else is on their knees. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're hurt, tired, or overwhelmed. It will test you. It will push you. And if you break, it moves on without a second thought. So the question is simple. Are you going to stay soft and let the world shape you? Or are you going to become stone, cold, unmovable, unbreakable? If you're ready to stop being a victim of your own emotions and start mastering them, then keep watching, because what comes next will change the way you see power, control, and yourself. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am unbreakable stone. Let's begin. Number 1, keep your mind cold. See truth clearly. Listen carefully. Your biggest enemy isn't out there. It's not your rival, not the person who wronged you, not even the world itself. Your biggest enemy is the fog inside your own head, the one that rolls in every time you let your feelings take the wheel. Most people walk through life blind, not because they can't see, but because they refuse to. They see what they want to see, what feels comfortable, what matches their anger, their fear, their hope. And that's exactly how they lose. A hot mind is a clouded mind. When you're angry, you miss the details. When you're afraid, you see threats that don't exist. When you're too hopeful, you ignore the knife heading straight for your back. Temperature rises, clarity drops. It's that simple. Machiavelli understood something brutal. Truth doesn't care about your comfort. It just sits there, waiting. And only the cold mind can see it. When everyone else is screaming about what they think is happening, you're the one actually watching what is happening. Think about it. How many times have you made a terrible decision because you were heated? How many times did you say something you regretted because emotion hijacked your mouth? How many opportunities did you destroy because you couldn't see past your own feelings? The answer is probably more than you want to admit, and that's the problem. We've been taught that passion is power. That feeling deeply means living fully, but nobody tells you the other side. Passion without control is just chaos in disguise. A cold mind doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let feelings distort reality. You feel the anger, but you don't let it blind you. You feel the pain, but you don't let it paralyze you. You acknowledge the emotion, then you put it aside and ask the only question that matters. What is actually true here? This is where most people fail. They take their emotional reaction and mistake it for truth. Someone disrespects them, and suddenly that person is pure evil. Someone praises them, and suddenly that person is trustworthy. Neither is true. Both are just temperature readings from a hot mind. The cold mind strips away the noise. It looks at patterns, not moments, actions, not words, results, not intentions. It doesn't ask, "How does this make me feel?" It asks, "What does this actually mean?" Machiavelli once said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." What separates the wise from the fool? Temperature. The wise see clearly from the start because their mind stays cold. The fool sees clearly only after the damage is done, when the heat finally dies down and reality becomes unavoidable. You want power? Start here. Cool down. Not your passion for life, but your reaction to it. Let your mind become a sheet of ice, clear, unshakable, reflective of truth, not distorted by heat. Because when your mind is cold, you see everything. And when you see everything, nobody can deceive you. Not even yourself. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind stays cold. Number 2, do not act from emotion. Act with intention. Here's where most people destroy themselves. They move when they're heated. They strike when they're angry. They decide when they're hurt. And then they wake up the next day wondering why everything fell apart. Action without intention is just noise. It's movement without direction. You're swinging punches in the dark, hoping one lands. Meanwhile, someone with a plan is standing right behind you, waiting for you to exhaust yourself. Emotion makes you predictable. When you act from rage, people know exactly what you'll do. When you act from fear, they can see your next move before you make it. When you act from desperation, you become easy to manipulate. You're not dangerous, you're transparent. Intention is different. Intention means you know exactly why you're moving. You've calculated the cost. You've measured the outcome. You're not reacting to what just happened. You're creating what happens next. That's the gap between survival and dominance. Every action you take should have purpose, not feeling, not impulse. Purpose. Ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve? Not, how do I feel right now? But, what do I actually want from this situation? Those are two completely different questions, and only one of them leads to power. Think about the last time someone provoked you. Maybe they insulted you, challenged you, tried to make you look small. What did you do? Did you snap back immediately? Did you defend yourself right there in the moment? If you did, you lost. Because they got exactly what they wanted, your reaction. But if you paused, if you stayed silent, if you smiled and walked away while they expected explosion, that's when you won. Because your action wasn't driven by their provocation. It was driven by your own intention. You chose your response. They didn't choose it for you. Intentional action requires patience. It requires you to sit with discomfort, to feel the anger burning and still not move, to recognize the urge and deliberately ignore it until you've decided, not felt, decided what serves you best. This is how you become unpredictable. This is how you stay 10 steps ahead. Because while everyone else is acting from their last emotion, you're acting from your next goal. Machiavelli once said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." Why? Because force is emotional. It's loud. It reveals your hand. But intention? Intention is quiet, strategic. It doesn't announce itself. It simply executes. And by the time anyone realizes what happened, you're already gone. Stop letting your emotions write your story. They're terrible authors. They create drama without substance, conflict without victory, chaos without purpose. You don't need that. What you need is control. Over your actions, over your timing, over your outcomes. From this moment forward, before you act, ask, is this emotion or intention? Am I moving because I feel something or because I want something? One makes you a puppet, the other makes you a player. Choose wisely, because the world rewards intention and it punishes emotion. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I act with purpose. Number 3, never react first. Hold your power. The first one to react is the first one to lose. Remember that. Carve it into your brain, because in any conflict, any negotiation, any moment of tension, whoever moves first reveals their weakness. Reaction is surrender. It's giving away your position. It's showing your cards before anyone else has to show theirs. And once you've reacted, you've handed them the map to your vulnerabilities. They know what triggers you. They know where you're soft. They know exactly how to hit you again. Power isn't loud, it's not fast. Power sits. Power waits. Power watches you scramble while it stays perfectly still, because the person who can afford to wait is the person who doesn't need anything from you. And that terrifies people. When someone attacks you, verbally, mentally, however, they're expecting a response. They want you to defend yourself, explain yourself, justify yourself. They're waiting for you to flinch. And the second you do, they've won. Not because they were right, but because they controlled you. So what do you do instead? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You absorb the hit like stone absorbs rain. You let their words bounce off. You let their aggression exhaust itself. You give them silence where they expected war. And that silence, that's the most violent thing you can offer. Silence is dominance. It forces them to fill the void.